With the permission of Mr. Speaker, I stand here to strongly support the motion. Ethnic conflict in Manipur are strongly intensified more by social media than by political failure. Mr. Speaker, the statement is true, for which I request you to allow me to put forward my arguments before the floor of the House. Firstly, Mr. Speaker, before we delve into the reasonings, let us first clarify what this motion means is that which honorable members from this House has been repeatedly clarifying it. However, they have always been diverting it into an action where they say what is the cause of the ethnic conflict and states the ethnic conflict more as the Meitei Kuki conflict, which resulted in 3rd of May 2022. However, Mr. Speaker, this ethnic conflict mentioned in this motion is not only that conflict, but rather every conflict that is occurring in Manipur today, whether it's in the past or that may occur or that is occurring now, Mr. Speaker. And ethnic conflict in Manipur is nothing new. Rather, it has been occurring since the 1990s and it has been continuing still today. Mr. Speaker, secondly, after what we know which ethnic conflict we are talking about, secondly, when we are talking about intensifying, Mr. Speaker, we are talking about the catalyst which is making the fire burn more. What is the fuel that is being poured into that makes the fire more into a disaster, Mr. Speaker? And thirdly, Mr. Speaker, when we compare about social medias and political failure, Mr. Speaker, we also don't deny there is a political failure in the system. Rather, we only say that social media is the catalyst that is burning this fire of ethnic conflict in the state, Mr. Speaker. Now, firstly, let us look into our social media accounts of today's time. When we enter into our Facebook, when we enter into our Twitter, when we enter into our WhatsApp account, when we enter into any groups, we find provocative and hate speeches everywhere, Mr. Speaker. And people are run by emotions rather and by algorithms and not by laws, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, when a person is angry, he will upload another hate speech. And this hate speech will again be retweeted, retweeted. And in a few hours, it will spread like wildfire. And that is even that very occurred in the ethnic conflict of 2023 May 3rd, Mr. Speaker. In a few hours of 6 hours, various villages, various peoples were already thrown out of their house and more than 2,000 houses were burned, Mr. Speaker. And this same conflict, let us compare with the conflict that occurred in the Nagakuki conflict during the 1990s or the Meitei Muslim conflict during the 90s, Mr. Speaker. Though that may have already done for a long span of time, Mr. Speaker, it always remained localized. However, today it is being regionalized. And what is the reason? What is the fuel? That is social media itself, Mr. Speaker. Because during those 1990s, Mr. Speaker, social media was not very much prominent. Through which leaders were able to indulge themselves, they were able to solve before any fake rumors, before any fake news were spreading like wildfire. But today, Mr. Speaker, any news can spread like wildfire in a few seconds. A tweet from Donald Trump can spread like a viral post today in India itself, Mr. Speaker. And that is the effect of social media, the power that social media has. Now, when we talk about political failure, that honorable members of the opposition bench says that due to the failure in the IT sector by the political members, there is an intensity in ethnic conflict in Manipur, Mr. Speaker. But let us be practical, Mr. Speaker. Can any IT sector handle posts of over 50 million accounts in this state today, Mr. Speaker? It is very unpractical. And at the same time, any post being tweeted into our Facebook accounts, the action comes first, after which bureaucracy and IT sectors need a clarification time for which they need to take a few hours or maybe a few days. And during this time, Mr. Speaker, social media has already fueled that very fire that is burning. And this is not just a statement, Mr. Speaker, rather from the various fact and figures from the Hindu Times or that of the Reporters Collective, where it states that more than 60% of the retweets in the X were always provocative and hate speeches that were occurring repeatedly, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, the intensity that is occurring today proves that social media is the very thing which is intensifying. The last point, Mr. Speaker, let us look into the time when internet was banned in Manipur for more than 80 days and later for more than 200 days, Mr. Speaker. When internet was banned, we were very much calm, Mr. Speaker. Although the conflict was occurring, Mr. Speaker, due to a slower pace of the fake information being spread out, Mr. Speaker, we were able to remain silent, we were able to be in peace, Mr. Speaker. However, after when internet was again allowed to move forward, Mr. Speaker, we can see the intensity being burned like wildfire once again, Mr. Speaker. And this proves that social media is the very filled with inspiring this ethnic conflict, Mr. Speaker. With all these facts and figures, Mr. Speaker, I request you to please pass this motion from the floor of the House. Thank you.